Good evening, everyone. This is the Selectmen meeting at 6:02 on March the 20th of 2025. And this meeting is being recorded and broadcast via our local cable access channel WCAT, Zoom, Facebook, and YouTube. If any in the audience is recording, please let us know. If you are gonna talk, please come to the podium, state your name, where you're coming from, or where you live. Also, when we get further in comments, we're gonna limit the comments a little bit to 2 or 3 times for the same person, so we don't extend our meetings. So, after being said that, let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, so first in our list, we have a public hearing for the FY 2025 Community Development Block Grant joint application between the towns of Warren and Millbury. Okay, so the floor is all yours.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Good to see everyone. I'm John O'Leary. I'm Principal Planner at the Central Mass Regional Planning Commission. So tonight I'll be presenting conducting a public hearing related to the FY25 Warren-Millbury CDBG grant application. So the purpose of tonight's public hearing is to present and discuss the proposed FY25 Warren and Millbury CDBG application. And I will also be asking for the Board of Selectmen's vote to authorize submission of the application on the town's behalf. So just going a brief little background on the CDBG program. So the Community Development Block Grant Program is federally funded by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. There are 2 ways funds are allocated to the state of Massachusetts. There are entitlement communities, which are granted funding automatically from HUD. These are typically your larger size cities like Boston, Springfield, Worcester. And the second way is through what's referred to as a non-entitlement or small communities, typically with populations less than 50,000. Towns that are non-entitlement, like Warren and Millbury, must follow a competitive grant application process in order to receive funding. The Massachusetts Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities administers the programs for these small communities.
Andrew Lowe.
The activities funded through CDBG must meet at least one of the 3 national objectives. They are to benefit low to moderate income population, aid in the removal or prevention of slum and blight, and meeting a community development need having a particular urgency, for example, a natural disaster, something like the tornado of 2011 in response to that. Some examples of eligible CDBG project types could include infrastructure-related improvement projects, where assets like roads, sidewalks, water, sewage, and drainage systems are improved, ADA-related improvements for towns that have completed an ADA plan. This may include things like an elevator project or sidewalk, ramp access, housing rehabilitation assistance program that's through loans that can help bring components of the home up to code, whether it be plumbing, electrical, or repairing siding, roofing, weatherization. Also planning, architectural, and engineering studies, and public social service programs. So the project selection process for this year's application. So the proposed application is being put forth by the Warren Community Development Advisory Committee in collaboration with the town of Millbury. The advisory committee's mission is to meet as an appointed body, assist with the development and management of community development activities, and make recommendations which are in the best interest of Warren. The committee holds monthly meetings to discuss these needs and projects, which fit within the framework of their mission and the CDBG program. Project and activities are identified and evaluated based on the overall community need of the town's low to moderate income population, available sources of funds, support for the project or activity, and compliance with local, state, and federal initiatives. The proposed FY25 Warren projects are part of a strategy developed by the advisory committee, who recommends that the town continues to address their needs that were identified in previous planning efforts, such as the School Street Neighborhood Infrastructure Planning Study, which was previously funded through an FY 2010 CDBG grant program, the Hillside Avenue Design Study, which was funded through an FY 22-23 CDBG program, and the recently updated Community Development Strategy. In addition to those plans and studies, we also mailed out resident feedback letters to residents of Hillside Ave and Summer Street. We had several, with the help of Karen, website posts and notices, and publicized tonight's hearing. So based on these meetings and existing community plans, local knowledge, CDBG program rules, and public input, the projects discussed below are being proposed for this year's application. Starting with the Hillside Avenue Improvement Project, like previously mentioned, the engineering design study was funded through the town's FY 22-23 grant program. Because there was excess funds remaining in the School Street Phase 2 project, we were able to reprogram those into a design study, which then set us up to be able to apply for construction funds in this year's application. Right now, we're looking at a budget approximately $632,000, and what that will do is improve the existing infrastructure, including water, drainage, street and sidewalk surface on Hillside Ave, the entire length of the road. Moving on to the Summer Street Engineering Design Study. So this will allow the town to hire a consultant to assess the existing conditions of the road, and based on that assessment, design for improvements, whether that may be water, sewer, drainage, street and sidewalk surface for the length of Summer Street. Next is the Washington Street Infrastructure Planning Study. So this will assess all of the subsurface and surface infrastructure within the Washington Street neighborhood. On the second page of that handout, I have a map of the area of the Washington Street neighborhood. So what that will do, what the hope of that will do, is set the town up for years' worth of potential CDBG projects, where knowing the existing infrastructure and the condition that it's in could set the town up for years' worth of projects, would include both design and construction phases. You know, like I said, in theory, for the next 10 years, if possible. Lastly, this is in part with the town of Millbury, so the senior center parking lot design improvement. So what this study will do is it'll assess the senior center's existing parking lot and design it for improvements to include improved accessibility, safety, and overall flow of traffic. So all of those projects and their budgets, combined with the grant administration for the program, will bring up just to the amount of the maximum that's allowable for two communities, which is $1,050,000. And then just to give a quick timeline, so the application is due April 14th, and then typically we hear whether or not the town would receive award late summer, early fall, and then begin work on the project activities in the summer, in the winter of 2026. So I don't know if there's any questions. I know it's a lot of information.
Let me check with the board. Do you guys, David, do you have any questions?
Yes, so Warren has 3 projects on there and Millbury only has 1?
Correct. Yes,
Millbury's good with that?
they are. They are.
Okay.
So it just happened to be that they only had one project that was lined up and ready for this year's application.
So
they're
you
like-
figure such a bigger community, they'd,
Yeah.
want a bigger piece of the pie. Hey, I'm good with it.
Yeah, and they're kind of piggybacking on ours.
Yeah.
So it makes ours look better.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Rich, do you have any questions?
No? Nope.
I have one question.
Sure.
How did you come up with that area?
Good question. So we had to qualify in order to use CDBG funds, we had to qualify it. And we used it on the basis of an area-wide census group. So that particular census group was more than 51% low mod. And that general area followed that, outlined area. That's how, instead of going through other avenues of trying to income qualify or determine qualification, we had to use or form it around the general area of that block group. In conjunction with working with Jeremy, Jeremy and I, had, as well as a coworker, Shannon Sullivan, we did a lot of analysis on looking at potential future projects in areas of town, and that one was really identified as, one of the older parts of town in terms of infrastructure, and so that coupled with having to qualify it for CDBG.
So you guys did it on an intelligent way based on your things with the highway department and everything, right?
Yep, and the advisory committee, yep, yeah, exactly.
Does it matter that one of us lives right there in that area?
I didn't even know that, but,
That's good to know.
yeah, no, it should, no. it
And there's
wouldn't.
a butter of one of us in that area?
I don't think
Okay.
that's not an issue.
I just want to
Yeah, no,
be clear that we had nothing to do with selecting that area.
Right.
It was just, it's your duty, and that doesn't interfere with the
Right,
process.
it does not,
Okay.
yes. But good question.
Well, we don't know.
Yeah, right.
Just to have an open book over here.
Sure.
Open door,
Of course.
We had nothing to do with that.
Right.
Any more questions?
No, I'm good. Good deal.
The last thing I would just ask, if possible, if we could, a motion, it's actually listed on the.
Yep,
the
we see it.
sheet. Okay.
Yeah. Are you good? We're gonna open it as a public.
Okay, so at this time, we're gonna open it to the public. Maybe they have some questions that you wanna take. If anybody in the public, directed to the board, please. Hearing none. Anybody on Zoom?
Doesn't look like it.
Okay, so, that case,
Okay. I'll make a motion to support and approve the submission of a FY '25 CDBG application, including the activities as presented today with allowance for the budget and/or program adjustments in accordance with FY '25 funding cap, and to authorize the town administrator, chair of board of selectmen, and town accountant to sign documents requiring for the application.
all right, do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
David Dufresne, aye.
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye, motion approved.
Thank you. I
Good to
appreciate
go,
that.
sir. We are
Yes,
excited.
hope to have the good news come late summer.
Be nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you very much.
Next, we have our police chief monthly report.
Hello, Jerry Millette, Chief of Police. For the month of February, we logged 1,110 calls, investigated 1 felony, had 34 incident reports, 1 on-view arrest, 5 warrant arrests, 8 summons arrests for a total of 14, 5 protective custodies, 3 juvenile arrests, 74 motor vehicle stops, 34 motor vehicle citations, and 10 motor vehicle accidents. At the beginning of the month, I attended my Homeland Security meeting and went over projects that were coming to completion. On the 5th, I completed the 4th and final class in a supervisory series that was put on by our insurance carrier, Maya. This will go towards the credit towards the town's premium. On the 10th, I started budget meetings with the town administrator. On the 11th, I attended the department head meeting that the town administrator had put on. After this meeting, Fire Chief Lavoy, Town Administrator Jim Ferrer, and I attended the Rutland Regional Dispatch meeting at the Rutland Library. On the 12th, I attended the Central Mass Chiefs of Police meeting. Here we discussed legislative items we wanted to put forth at our next meeting with the state legislators. We also had a training by the DA that I forgot to list on that with the new Rule 14 that's coming forward for discoveries. On the 25th, I took another class put on by our insurer, Maya, This class was on navigating free speech and will also go towards the credit towards the town's premium. And finally, on the 27th, new hire Nicholas DeGray was appointed in front of the Board of Selectmen. Officer DeGray comes to us from Palmer PD with extensive background investigation as well as tactical policing.
Awesome, very good, Chief, and thank you for keeping all the town safe.
Thank you.
Any questions? David? Rich?
Nope, thank you.
You got it.
Thank you very much, sir. Now that you're there, discussion with a possible vote to reappoint Detective Matthew Morin to a 3-year term for the Police Department. Anticipated vote.
So a year ago, we stood in front of you and we appointed Detective Morin to that slot. And now, after a year's time, he's been doing a great job in it, and we're looking to do the 3-year appointment.
Very good.
Would you like to say anything?
Sure.
Yeah.
Thanks for, members of the board, thank you for having me. Chief, thank you for the continued support. Lieutenant Woodcomb as well. And members of the board, thank you for your continued support with the department, as well as Mr. Furr, who's not here tonight. I'll just continue to do good work. All investigations will be handled fairly, thoroughly, and I enjoy working for the community. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You got anything to say?
No, I think he's doing a great job. I've never heard a negative thing said about him in the community, and he's loved by his peers, and he gets along with the chief. We all know how hard that is. I think he's doing a great job. I'd love to keep him in the community. Keep up doing the good work.
Very good.
Thank you.
Rich?
Yeah, ditto, yeah.
Yeah?
We're
very
glad
good.
you're here, and you'll be here for another 3 years. That's great.
Great.
Awesome. Let's get a motion for this.
All right, I'll make a motion to reappoint, it's Matthew, right?
That's correct.
Matthew, yeah. For some reason the W fell off.
It fell off. Where did it?
I'm like, wait a second here, it's not spelled right.
I don't know where it went.
Okay, I'll make a motion to reappoint Matthew Morin as a detective for a term of 3 years for the town of Warren.
Do I hear a second?
Second,
All in favor?
David Dufresne, aye.
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye. The motion is approved.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you again. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you very much for your service.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Chopped liver. How did I get burned or what?
Well, you didn't.
Next, we have the acknowledgement of a resignation of Police Officer Christopher Beauchard, effective April 5th, 2025.
Didn't know about that.
You didn't know he was resigning?
No, I didn't.
No, okay.
So Chris has been with us probably 5-6 years
want
now.
this?
No, I don't need that. He's been a great police officer for us, for the town. He's been our court officer for years now. It was just a decision he made with his family. He's got family that lives in Maine, and they're moving up to where the family is so they can be closer to them. So it's a tough loss, but I can see why he's doing it.
There's a reason, family first.
Right.
Plus, Maine's pretty nice.
He's going up there though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
Penobscot.
yeah. It's gonna be rural.
Oh yeah. Hope he likes the winters.
45-minute response time.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's more moose than people.
Yeah. Hey, that's not a bad thing sometimes.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I hate to lose them.
it's a downside, good for him, but, you know, we just keep moving on.
Yep.
No, that's a
Keep
great
plugging.
area.
Anything, guys?
No, just let them know I'm right behind them in a few years here.
Yeah. I'm looking
I'll
at
be moving up there.
Penobscot. This is actually a great area.
We've been looking at Maine
Yeah.
to move up there, so.
Not me, North Carolina.
You like hurricanes?
I like North Carolina. Like it better than snow.
See, I really
That's-
like lobster.
That's the only
So-
reason I like the, how do you say that, the climate is getting warmer every day?
Yeah, exactly.
It is.
It'll be nicer up there.
Then it will be much better for me.
Maine's gonna be the new Florida.
And North Carolina's gonna be like,
Arizona.
oof.
Yeah.
Ugh, with humidity.
Okay, thank you very much. Now we gotta review the fiscal year '26 budget request from Pathfinder Regional Vocational Clinical High School. What's up? Is this a PowerPoint presentation?
No, typically the superintendent
Are
represents
they
it.
in Zoom?
Nope.
No. Jim just asked me to put this in your binder so that you could take a look at it and see what they're doing and how they are.
Well, this ain't for discussion, it was just
Just information?
Just
Yeah,
a hand
informational.
to us,
Okay.
yes.
I believe our assessment went down a bit. I don't know if it's gonna be in here.
It should be.
We're sending one less student, but then I think, oh. Yeah, 45 to 44.
Pathfinder really does a good job.
Yeah.
Very
So
good
our
job.
assessment went down almost $28,000.
Okay. So we keep this for us to review?
Yes.
Now it's time for warrants and bills.
Oh, that came up quick. I'll make a motion to pay the following warrants. Accounts payable, number 37, for $79,305.63.
Do I hear a second?
Second,
All in favor?
David Dufresne, aye?
Rich Hacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye. Motion approved. Bills.
I'll make a motion to pay the following bills. Entree for $2,747.56. B&G Mechanical for $1,610.25. Americano for $1,080. Encore Fire Protection for $200. National Grid for a total amount of $4,228.02. Warren Water District for $21,000. Warren Electric for $1,800. B&H for $95.99.
Do I hear a second?
Second,
All in favor?
David Dufresne, aye.
Rich Hacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye. Motion approved. Do we have any minutes?
No.
tonight? Table the minutes. Any new business?
I don't,
I don't have any
I
new
don't.
business. Any old business? Where's our list?
it's number
It's in there.
7.
Old business I do have.
Okay, sir, go for it.
Last year, we talked a lot about getting flags for the
Oh.
center of town.
Yeah,
I'd like to see if we can continue that. And maybe we can put something out there as an article or something, or if we can do something for getting flag posts and flags to put out in the center of town.
sure.
I agree.
Because I'd love to see more patriotic, especially for coming for 4th of July and Memorial Day and all that.
So we put them on the, like the telephone poles and streetlights and stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Just
You
like
have
the
to
other
make sure
towns do.
National Grid okays the telephone pole part.
Yeah, I assume that we'd have to do that, right? We have to
Yeah.
get
Get approval. for
Yeah,
that.
but, you know. Anyway. I don't think any other town has done that.
Well, why don't we get the project going and then we look for the, ask permission or ask for pardon?
Can,
I'd rather
Mass
pardon than that one. Mass Corp probably has them.
can they do something?
You want me to check it?
Yeah,
Okay.
There we go. We have someone in charge for that. Mrs. Dusty.
there's a thing on here about the safety complex. So we have the 3,
Dates?
dates and times, right?
Did you see all the yellow in here?
Yeah,
And I spent 8 hours cutting flyers to go in the tax bills that will be going out. The bright blue.
Time well served, I have
So-
to say. Thank you.
April 17th at 6 PM at the Quabog Regional High School. June 26th, 6 PM at Quabog Regional High School. September 27th in the Shepherd Building Gym downstairs at 1 o'clock.
Can we put those on the calendar, please?
I will put them in the calendar.
Thank you. Same as the, all the meetings this week.
And it, is it, Is it on the website now?
No,
there
I
a
haven't
thing?
done that,
Okay.
because I just made a big flyer and then I put them out here.
Okay, make it pop, stay on top, I guess.
Yeah, I will, I'll tag it to the top.
Okay,
I know how to do that, David taught me.
I
excellent.
did? I forgot.
So you're gonna add flag posts to the list here?
I have flag
Okay.
posts to the list, yes, sir.
All right, I mean, everything else we've talked about, right?
I did send out the emails about raising the fines or fees,
Oh, yeah, I saw
and I
that.
got a couple of responses already.
I didn't read it, but.
One more thing too is.
Yes, sir?
We proposed, Parks Department look into adding another layer to the Christmas tree to make it a little taller. Cause it is a amazing event, but I think the tree is a little short. Be nice if it was a little, cause those are 4-foot sections. They could add another 4-foot section on there.
I remember when we
We were
approved
talking about
that,
that.
they said that every year they're gonna,
They were gonna
Make it
add a
bigger.
little more to it, yeah.
Well, I
So they
think
could
they've
expand
added
it.
bulbs to it one year, because it didn't
Yeah.
use, the first year it didn't have any bulbs,
Yeah.
so,
and it's a personal thing, I know they're not listening to us right now, but I would like to see it a little bit more towards where people can see it when they drive by. You know, near the flag, I don't know.
yeah, right now
Well, I
it's
think they
kind
have
of
to put
behind
it
the.
where the lights, the
The
electric
outlets,
can
yeah.
reach.
Well, it's just a wish.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to check on that? Ask them if they need to put an article in?
Yeah, it'd be nice if they could, because it'd be nice to get the tree taller.
Yeah,
Cause it is a good tree. I know some people don't really care for it because it's not a real tree. But it is a beautiful tree and they do a lot of effort. And it'd be nice if it was a little taller, you know?
Okay. I'll let
Because
them
when we
know.
get all around it, you realize, well, it's not really a big tree. You know?
I've put that on the list too.
Thank you.
Not, a lot of things here from Mr. Ferreira, so you
yeah.
just have to wait. Do you know how the new computers are coming?
The what, I'm sorry?
The new computers?
They were supposed to start Monday, 24th. Monday or
Next week?
24th.
They're
Yeah,
gonna start next
Monday.
week?
Mhm.
Okay.
And so is the weatherization.
Okay. Do they gonna just start hands-on, or are they gonna do like a analysis of what it has to be done for the weatherization?
I
think
don't
they-
know.
I think they're
They
doing
already
it.
did that, and they're
Yeah.
just coming
They're
hands-on?
doing it,
It
yeah.
is coming to do it, yes.
Anything else we wanna talk about on this list without Mr. Ferreira?
No.
I'm good.
Okay. Do we have any correspondence?
You do?
You have two. One's from National Grid, just letting us know they're going to start doing trimming around. Shouldn't affect anybody's service.
So which one is that one? The March 10?
It's tab number 8.
I'm on 8.
It's more of 9, more of a 9 tab. The National Grid one? It's right
Yeah.
there.
This is the National Grid?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, they call by my name.
Yeah, they're just doing tree pruning and,
So just informational, because it won't say
Yeah.
National Grid, it's going to be a tree trimming company.
right.
And just to let people know, it's not the town, it's National
Right.
Grid.
And the satellite view, what is that about? Do they, I can't read it on black and white. Can we pull out that on the screen? That one? What is it saying? It says
Doesn't say anything.
right of way, town border, wetlands, vernal pool. What is the meaning of this? Right of way?
It doesn't say,
It's the power line cut.
Just the power lines that go through the town.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can't really,
That's a disadvantage.
it is.
Yeah, it's really not showing.
So we'll have to make sure I email you everything, huh?
The next one is an
Yeah.
interesting one.
Okay, let's move to the next correspondence. To who it may concern, the town has no issues making everyone clean their yards if there's trash and lots of junk in their yards. So how is the address getting away with that property being the way it is? They have a place in another town and has no plans on being on the property. The property is a safety issue. When they look the house down, they never fill out the basement. There's a lot of the debris. If a child walks on the property and fell in the basement, they could get hurt or killed. It looks like hell coming into town. Please make it a priority. It's unfair to our town. Thank you. It's anonymous?
Yes, I just got it today.
Is this one already being addressed by the Board of Health?
No, I don't,
Yes, sir, come over.
Dan, come on. This is, and we could say the address
We
on this.
received the
Okay.
same notice yesterday. Totally anonymous, no return address, nothing. And it's kinda, I think it's kinda weird because we had our meeting the other night, Tuesday night,
Mhm.
and I mentioned it in our meeting that that site needs to be looked at and cleaned up.
Yeah.
Because it's all loaded with all kinds of debris and trash. There's half a garage there, there's truck parts, there's all kinds of trash in there,
Yeah.
okay? And it's right on Southbridge Road as you come around the corner.
That's the one where she took down the house.
Right.
And they were gonna rebuild, but then something happened and it couldn't be done.
They
Right,
had a
so they're,
trailer there
I guess
for a
they live in
while. Yeah.
Ware. We sent a notice off to them that they have to respond and clean that lot off, and we gave them a deadline of April 30th to make that lot safe.
Okay.
So it's, we've
Perfect.
addressed it already,
So Board of Health's addressing it.
okay.
okay?
Cool.
And, did you gave a deadline,
Of April 30th.
okay, and if that isn't met, the town will clean it up and then charge them?
We didn't go that far yet. We
Okay.
want to get response from them first. If they don't address it, then we'll send the second one out.
Yeah, because I've noticed that property a few times.
Yeah.
Everybody tries to take care of their yards and,
The second
Is
time we
that-
send it out, it's gonna go out by constable, so. Okay.
I did
Thank you,
notice
sir.
one night, after one of our meetings late here, I drove by and there was a guy sneaking in.
Oh.
Couldn't recognize him. They didn't make a big deal, but
They probably live in that little shack.
I don't, he was not from the property. He was getting into the property, walking long, very tall guy, skinny. He had a hat and a little lantern. He was walking into the property like that.
was it Joe?
No.
He's tall and skinny. Doesn't he have a
Yeah,
hat?
it looked like him, but it had longer hair.
Where's your flashlight? Let's see your
I
flashlight.
kinda thought it was weird that I brought it up, and then the next day we received a notification in the mail on it.
Yeah.
An anonymous notification.
Well, as far as I know, they had health issues. Then they moved to Florida, and I hear they are back in
Where?
Massachusetts. I don't know.
No, is it? This is the house that they were asking the town to help with a grant. And they were gonna pay back the town, but they wanted us to give them money as like a loan. And the town turned it down and said, no, we can't do that. When we were doing that stuff before. And,
Oh, the housing rehab?
yeah,
I don't think this would qualify for housing rehab.
that's what they
though.
were looking for,
Yeah.
to
It
get
would-
that done. And we said no to this one.
Yeah.
And,
It's too far.
they're like, and they tried going because there were some health issues in the family, so. But there was a pretty good chance we wouldn't have gotten the money back,
Right.
so.
Yeah,
Okay,
so we're gonna
thank you.
address it the best way we can, so
Thank you, Board of Health. I know you do a wonderful job.
we try.
Thank you. No more correspondence? I got a weird email, and I thought it was some of those that they send us testing, so I didn't click on it. I wish I
Good
won it.
job.
No, I usually click on them. I don't mind. What it's gonna do is it's gonna, if you, honestly, if you click on something, you gotta accept something after that one.
Well, what if it's not a test one?
Yeah.
Same thing, same thing. You know, most of the hacks are coming, you click on the link and it says, oh, you want free, a free meal, and you click yes, that's the one that you wanna try to avoid. The yes, because behind that,
It's a
it says.
free meal.
It says, behind that, it says, our system is trying to get into your hard drive and to install this application. You just don't see it, and then everything goes bad. Besides that, never give your information online. Never. No more correspondence. Any comments and concerns?
No.
Short meeting.
Short
That's my
meeting.
comment.
Yeah.
That's your comment? Are you
Keep it
mad
short.
at us? Okay. How about the public? Yes, Joe?
All right, click the timer. Yes,
Yeah.
14 seconds.
Okay,
Yep, wait, I'm gonna,
Joe Contract resident. I was thinking with Officer Bouchard, since he's going to Maine, maybe the Board of Selectmen could compose a letter of recommendation for his next job, since he did such a good job in the
Already
town
has
of
a
Warren.
job.
Yeah, I already got one.
Well, another problem that I've noticed lately, we seem to be getting more ambulance calls for altered mental status. And I have to wonder if
It's all rich.
it has to do with an alkaloid. You know, if somebody's making homemade bread, they may be using a wheat or rye that has ergot, and that will create an altered mental status. It's something that really you should be buying your flour, say like at Big Y or Walmart, rather than going out and harvesting your own wheat or rye. Back in the 1950s, the CIA had a program to try and create altered mental status. At that time, it was LSD. And the problem with that is the person becomes susceptible to suggestions. Somebody could say, oh, go jump off a bridge or jump out of a window, and they will do it, not realizing the consequences. It's one of those things, though, that we're going to have to start looking at these people who suddenly have an altered mental status. Maybe the ambulance crew could suggest to the hospital when they get there, test their blood, see if they have an alkaloid in it. We have sufficient people in town to keep people from going off the deep end. But there has to be some reason why suddenly adults or older teenagers are suddenly having this altered mental status. It's just something to look at.
thank you, Joe. Wonderful advices and good things to talk about, but unfortunately, we as a board, we cannot address anything of that. Maybe the fire chief could give you something, but I will suggest,
I would pull Jerry to the side after the meeting and talk with him about it.
yeah, I will suggest you write all this down and, you know, maybe make a website or something, and because it's all good information.
I baked you guys some bread, the loaves in the other room.
Oh, thank you. I'm
Yeah,
so
it was a fun
hungry.
time.
Can you harvest your own wheat?
I do, yeah. Very proud of that.
That's right behind your backyard?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody in Zoom?
I'm in Zoom.
Nope, no Zoom.
No Zoom. Anybody else would like to make a comment or concern?
Yes, I have one. Or two.
One or two, that's
Or
it.
three. Or four.
No,
You thought you were gonna go home early. didn't
We
you?
are going home early, sir.
Yeah, okay. Hey, we're going back to the old days. So, last week, I'll make it quick, honest. You guys had a hard day, I know. So, our learned friend Ray was 100% right when he stated that this board has no business at the housing. Did you hear him say that?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I was told that 2 years ago when the first time I come up here. I knew that, and I've been told at least a dozen times since then that you can't do nothing for us. So, just real quick, I come up here, not to change your minds. I'm trying to network through this place, I guess. I'm hoping to get somebody's ear that maybe can, help us out. Now, Ray also was 200% wrong when he said that you had a valid candidate. Why 200%? Because he said it twice. Okay? I'll go into that a little bit later, okay? I got to take you into, have you guys remember Mr. Peabody in the Time Machine?
Nope.
That was a good show.
Yeah. So I'm going to put us in there, and we're going to go back to a meeting shortly after Rich came on to the board. I'll be quick. The meeting opened up. There were two people sitting over there. One was highway, and the other one was a gal from the office. Out of an $11 million budget, I think it was around there then, you guys caught a $15 oversight. Do you remember that? You don't remember that? Tolls.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody had turned in the tolls for reimbursement of payment, right? Is it coming back?
Yep.
To me, that was the moment that I said, you know what, we're in good hands with these guys. Think about it, $11 million budget, and you guys catch 15 bucks. He came up, grabbed him, and said he'd take care of it. It was a mistake. Nothing else was said, no bad words. It was fabulous. It was really good. Okay, so from that day on, because prior to that, I watched this room for years, and I watched a handful of people come in here and regret it for the rest of their lives with the old board, okay? And I said to myself, I'm never going in there until I saw that meeting. Okay. That was a good thing that happened, okay? Because here, you can talk about things, okay? You couldn't do that with the old board, okay? So, because of that, I came in here many times, again, trying to reach somebody on the outside, because I know that you guys can't help us, okay? And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Did you guys think that maybe it was improper? Besides taking up your time?
No, I don't think so. That's what we're here for. We're here for community to bring things of concern to us. Whether we can help with those things, sometimes we really are just limited because of it's outside of our capabilities to do.
Right.
And something with the housing, we understand the problems, we want to hear the concerns, but there's nothing we can really do.
Right, and I knew that, like I said, so, okay. But I was hoping that, like I said, I catch somebody's ear on the outside, so. Okay. I don't care about the appointment that you made, because I think at this point it's going to be irrelevant, because the spigot, the faucet, where the money's flowing, and you said this a while ago, Dave, the money's going to dry up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to our new president, if you watch the news, I think you see what's coming down the road, okay? So I don't have to be the neighborhood watchdog anymore. I can go and take a hobby now. Because I have seen, in 10 years of living at the housing, I have seen personally at least $2 million wasted. Taxpayers' money, your monies, okay? That's a lot more than 15 bucks. Now, I can't do anything about it. You know, it's just my opinion, right? But these monies are wasted by people that are appointed, elected, committees, boards. In my situation, I can say it because Archie Bunker's had it on national TV, dingbats, okay? But now,
I was
it's
wondering
open-
where you were going with that, because there's a lot of stuff that Archie
Right.
Bunker used to
Just
say that you
dingbats.
can't say no more on TV.
Just dingbats. So I can say now, I don't have to be the neighborhood watchdog. Obviously, you guys don't care. Nobody seems to care about big amounts of money. And I'll back that up with the banana. The guy that paid $6 million for a banana, right? So now I can go do a hobby. I don't have to come here and bug you guys anymore. I will say, though, this. You guys shouldn't have appointed that gentleman, because if you look under mass housing laws, they go back 20 years. And everybody that's up there, anybody that's up there for anything, has to have a Cory check, okay? It's just my opinion, but they'll require that up there. And he is not allowed to be with children or elderly, okay? And again, I have nothing against the gentleman. I just think you guys flip-flopped last week. We were gonna delay it for a week. There was no reason not to. And you guys flip-flopped. And I went out in the hallway and I found out why, because Ray and him and Travis were talking. Ray has some political ambitions, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And he has some connections somewhere, I guess. And if it's for the town's benefit, I'm okay with that. Town comes first. But I think the appointment was a mistake. That's about it.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Anybody else? So I think it's time for a motion. Our next meeting will be next week on 27th
27th.
at 6 o'clock. Same room, same place.
Yep.
But it's gonna be a long one.
A long one?
Yeah, because Jim will be back.
No, let's just keep for the next week then.
I can't.
So let's move forward with this. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
You have a second. All in favor?
David Dufresne, aye.
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye. We are adjourned. Oh, I didn't read it.